Hi guys, I hope you guys are doing really well. My name is Yusha and today I'm going to be talking about the Pinktree Company. If you guys follow me on Instagram or have been doing so even for a little bit, which if you don't, please do follow me on Instagram. Shameless plug. Shameless. Absolutely shameless. But if you do follow me on Instagram, you know that one of the things that I'm really passionate about is ethical fashion brands. I know that for a lot of people, fashion is a really controversial topic, I should say. Like, people really do assume that fashion does not impact them in any way, shape or form. They kind of write it off as this like incredibly fickle industry that has nothing to do with people, has nothing to do with the livelihoods of people. They pretend as if, like, you know, the stork brings the fashions. But really, as an industry, as with any industry, fashion has a human component. It's not just the people who are purchasing from fashion brands, it's also the people whose livelihoods depend on these brands. And I'm not just talking about the people at the top management position that get like a pretty decent paycheck from some of the world's biggest brands. I'm talking about smaller brands, indie brands, and the artisans that they work with. I think a lot of us forget that, especially for a lot of fashion houses in Pakistan, people who are working for them often come from some of the most impoverished backgrounds. They often come from rural localities, and they are often practicing skills that are a very important part of our heritage and our culture. And I think that it's, especially in the month of Ramadan, and given everything that's happening, I mean, it's been a tough year for everybody, including businesses. I know that a lot of people want to give back and they want to help, and I think that one way of helping someone that I think is very effective is through economic empowerment. And so in the run-up to Eid, I want to draw attention to some brands that I think really do deserve your attention, because they are working very closely with their artisans. They are doing whatever they can within their capacity and within their limitations to kind of produce quality products, but also work on cultural preservation, work on employment, fair wages, and work on empowering their employees, and are also really conscious of their environmental impact and really do try to produce in a very mindful, ethical way. Some time ago, I was in Pakistan. I was going to be speaking at Lahuti, and if you don't know what Lahuti is basically a music festival, and they have a lot of themes. This year their theme was environmental conservation. I was there speaking on the production and the fashion aspect of this. The reason for this is because, as you guys know, I work with Meraki Design House, and a lot of the things that I just spoke about are values that are very close to our hearts. We really do try to produce in a very mindful, ethical way, and we really do try to empower the artisans that we work with. So while I was there, I got an opportunity to meet with Mohsin Saeed. Now, Mohsin Saeed is a Pakistani journalist, quite well known, and he is one of the 3 people who in 2011 started the Pinktree Company. So this was a venture started by 3 friends, Mohsin Saeed, as I mentioned, but also Sheena Rizvi and Hadia Khan. They were kind of aware of the Pakistani showbiz industry, I suppose I can call it that. It's basically like a hodgepodge of everything from acting to theatre to television, and fashion is also part of it. They were really aware of the cultural practices that exist there, about how artisans are treated, about how many of them are not given fair wages. They don't have any concept of environmental conservation. They're not very aware, or rather they're not really concerned about how production impacts the social and environmental well-being of a people. So they started the Pinktree Company. Now, this was started with the whole concept of bringing craft and quality together. There are quite a few cultural crafts in Pakistan, like block printing or gota embroidery or kamdani, that are really a part of the fabric, pun not intended, of our culture. They are also slowly but surely kind of losing the prominence that they had within the cultural framework, and there are many reasons for this, but one of those reasons is the persistence of fast fashion. So since we're doing this, we're gonna need to start defining some things. Fast fashion model is one that is employed by many of the world's most popular brands. Styles and trends have to go from the ramp to the rack really quickly. We're talking inventory turnover, usually 2 weeks. Every 2 weeks there's an inventory turnover. Sometimes it's as quick as a week. We have super fast fashion brands, and we can only imagine what that's like. Another thing that's accompanied by really quick inventory turnover is really cheap price tags. Here's the thing though, there is no such thing as a free lunch. So if you didn't pay that much for this t-shirt, someone else wasn't paid fair wages either. There might have been an environmental cost because the production practices were not very conscious. They might have been using toxic materials to dye this garment, cutting costs elsewhere, that overall cost all of us our well-being, because at the end of the day we are all in this together. If anything has been made abundantly clear, it's that the way that we were living our lives, we were taking way too many things for granted, and the environment and our society and the communities that we share space with are among the things that we were taking for granted. That's basically the fast fashion model, and it has received a lot of flack. To be perfectly fair, it deserved much of that, because in 2019 the World Bank determined that the global fashion industry was responsible for 10% of carbon emissions. Yeah, simultaneously there were really questionable practices as far as the way that employees were treated. We've all heard stories about sweatshops. I know it's been some years since the Rana Plaza collapsed, but the ethos that allowed something like that to fester still exists. It is still something that a lot of people struggle with, and brands that insist on employing fast fashion production practices are certainly adding to that problem. Another issue with fast fashion is the landfill concern. Now, whether they do this on purpose or not, I cannot say. But the thing is, when you aren't paying that much for a t-shirt or any kind of a garment, you really are getting what you paid for. So whatever you're getting, the quality is very subpar, and what that ends up doing is that after a couple of washes, if you're lucky 5, the garment is disintegrating, and so it ends up in landfill site. This is adding to the overall environmental degradation that I just spoke about. Now, there are many initiatives that are trying to tackle this problem, especially I would say 2019 onwards. The global fashion industry has become very overtly cognizant, and the reason for this is in part consumer behavior, because they realize that consumers care, and the reason consumers care is because they realize that we don't have the luxury of time anymore. We done messed up, right? Like, it's not stuff isn't gonna get better. Yeah, we need to be, we should be, I'm scared. Within Pakistan, brands like the Pink Tree Company are very aware, and they're very consciously and diligently working to mitigate both the environmental and social impact of production in Pakistan. Because of that, I think that they deserve a lot of our support. The Eid collection is called Nauratan. Throughout this video, I have been showing you guys what some of the pieces look like. They're really beautiful. You can see the craftsmanship. They're going for a very classic silhouette. They are predominantly an anti-trend brand, and what that means again is that instead of purchasing, new garments every couple of months, you purchase one and then you purchase the kind of garment that you don't have an issue wearing over and over again. It's also higher quality, which means that it will not degrade as quickly as some of the cheaper alternatives will. But most importantly, it is created working very closely with artisans. In an interview, Mohsen Said was actually talking about this, and he said that they pay their artisans more than 30% higher wages than what the market rate is. Empowering them economically also ensures that these skills, which are a very important part of our heritage, have a fighting chance. For those of you that don't know, I happen to be Sindhi, so block printing in particular is very close to my heart, because the ajrak, which is the de facto symbol of Sindhi people now, that is an example of block printing. Although I have to say, as much as I like a good ajrak, I have like 5. It's a very limited representation of what block printing can do, and hence I really do support brands like the Pink Tree Company, because they show you what something that, is really a part of our heritage, what you can accomplish using these skills and these techniques. Nauratan collection is available for sale. They are delivering all over across Pakistan. They're also delivering in other parts of the world. We'll have links to their store, their website, and also their Instagram. You can get in touch with them through their Instagram feed, or you can just visit their website. Pretty much all the information is there. They have limited stock available for their Nauratan collection in UK size 12, which can be worn from size 10 till size 14. They are delivering, so you don't actually have to go to the store if you cannot. If you're going to be purchasing something from Eid, I would highly encourage you to take a look at their collection. Chances are you might find something there that you really like. If you're not purchasing for this Eid, which I understand, then just share, their content and spread the word. Usually I'm pretty nonchalant about like sharing my videos and sharing my content and whatever, because I'm just like, look, if you like it, you can share it. If not, that's fine as well. But in this particular case, I do just want to emphasize, if possible, please do share this video so that we can get the word out about the Pink Tree Company. If you didn't like this video, if that's okay, just go on to their Instagram profile, share a picture of your favorite creation from there. Perhaps someone on your feed might be really intrigued. Do talk a little bit about what they're doing. I think that this is a very interesting brand. I would like to personally really see them succeed and thrive, because it's a very competitive global space, fashion, and a lot of businesses have been really adversely impacted. So I'm really hoping that we can help them in any way, shape or form. So that is that video. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked this video, please do give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, you can give it a thumbs down as well, that's fine. Leave me some comments. Are there any Pakistani brands that you want me to look at that are very ethical and very conscious? I'm always happy to look at ethical Pakistani brands, because I think that it's not something that's very common in Pakistan. So when I see a company do something positive and very proactive in this way, I'm always willing to support them. Please do subscribe to my YouTube channel. Click the bell notification so that you can be notified every time I upload a video, and I will talk to you again really soon. Take care of yourselves. Bye bye.